a recording of me talking, and we'll keep everyone else anonymous so that you can get maximum benefit. So whether you've got video on or off, we're gonna cut that bit out anyway. So just to let you guys know about that, and then to let you know the format of the day. So I've got these three main areas that I want to cover today. I want to talk about building trust alongside personal brand. I want to talk about communicating with your patient. Trust also comes into that part of it. And we want to talk about imposter syndrome because we're all such successful, intelligent people, and we all suffer with imposter syndrome. And it needs to be discussed. So let's talk about it. And we thought we'll do it in a timed way. So Laura's going to give me 10 minutes to talk on each one of these topics. I've got slides ready. And as I said, I could talk about probably each one of these topics for a day. So I'm going to try and pack in as much value as I can in that time. While I'm talking, I want you guys to send your questions either in the chat, so they're to the group, or you can send them directly to Laura. Laura, maybe you should change your name to Laura Academy so everyone knows which Laura you are. There's probably other Lauras in the room. Send your questions directly to Laura, and then Laura will share them anonymously. So you don't need to put them to the group to everyone if you don't want to. So 10 minutes of me talking, and then 5 minutes of personalized answering your questions. Laura will grab questions from the chat and put them to me. So that we can get some answers, and then whenever that 5 minutes is up, even if I'm halfway through an answer, we're gonna run by time, and we're gonna go on to the next topic, and we're gonna go bang, bang, bang like that, and go through all 3 sessions. So whistle stop, packed with learning. I really hope you find value from today. I'm very excited about delivering it, and I hope that I empower not only a bunch of women, because I think there's some men on the call as well, but empower anyone that's with us in the room today, and try and share some of the techniques that I use to empower me. So I think it's about to turn on 10:05, so maybe it's time that I get to start on my first topic. I'll keep the slide up and keep it to time. I'm going to get my timer ready as well. See, it's like a workout, got timers and everything. Like that. Okay, 10:05, starting timer, and going on to the first subject. So, trust and personal brand. Trust is the foundation of success, right? Whether it's the people that you're working with, whether it's the clients that come into your office every day. If they don't trust you, you can't work with them. And equally, if I felt like for a second that any of my patients didn't trust me, I wouldn't work with them. As soon as you start having those conversations where they're questioning you, they're trying to dictate the materials that you use, or your treatment plan, and change what you're doing, I would just be like, I don't think that we're able to communicate. I don't think that you trust in the way that I do things, and I don't think that I can work with you. So for us, it's really important that our clients trust us, and we want to build that trust in them so that our lives are easy, and so that we can keep those clients and not have to say that this isn't going to work out between us. Also, your reputation, is such an important asset, and we're going to talk about that. And to be a top dentist, unfortunately, you can't just be skilled. People need to know that you're credible. They need to see that you're visible, and you need to be respected. And we're going to talk about how to go through that. You want to take control of your brand, so that it's very clear what your messaging is and what you stand for. And then second to that, the power of a premium experience. You want your experience from the initial contact to the last appointment within that series of treatment to reflect your brand values and what it is that you believe in. And that could be, we've written luxurious experience here, but that doesn't need to be a luxurious experience. That could be maybe your brand values are to provide a family environment. Maybe you want that when you answer the phone, you're like, hey, and you're calling people by first names. And when they're coming in, your patient lounge is looking like a living room. And maybe that you're hugging your patients when you're seeing them. And maybe there's that vibe going on. Maybe there's the exact opposite of that, and you're answering the phone and you're calling them by Mrs. Smith, or whatever their name is, and there's handshaking and it's all very formal in the way that you interact with them. And it doesn't matter which one it is, it just matters that you're congruent, that when the patient comes in, from the first moment that they contact you to the end of the appointment, there's congruency in what you're saying, in how you're appearing, in the way that your team is showing up. And it's really important. Right, so let's talk about it. Trust and personal brand. I'm already 2 minutes in. Okay. be seen or be forgotten. So, it's all good and well having you're opening your clinic and then expecting patients to turn up, or having a book in your patient lounge of your before and afters and expecting your current patients to pick it up, look at it and say, oh yeah, can I have this smile makeover, or can I have this treatment that you do here? We have now with the internet, we have the ability to be visible to hundreds of thousands of people every single day. And I think it's such a missed opportunity if we don't take advantage of that. That can be via your website. You create a website, but if you don't optimize that for SEO, and so let's talk very quickly about software engine optimization and how that works. So someone taking control of your website, making sure that the keywords that you want to rank for on Google are mentioned on your website. So when Google's trying to work out, like someone's put in who does the best veneers in London, we'll use that as an example for me. I would want to rank at as it's searching through your website and seeing, is there anything there that says that this website actually does veneers? Is this something that they do? Is there something to say that they actually do good veneers and they care about them? It's searching through Google reviews. Are people saying that this is where you get the best veneers in London? And if it can find those words, then you will rank for them. So you can optimize your website so that it's more visible on search engines on Google, and then inadvertently it would also be visible on Bing, because Bing draws its information from Google. And then social media, during my mentorship program, and I know a lot of my mentees are here, we talk so much about social media and about how easy it is to create one piece of content once you know how to make it. We went through that in the social media training day yesterday, which I really enjoyed hosting. It was my first time doing that training session, and it was great fun. So once you've made that one bit of content, how are you going to get it out? How are you going to get it out to the world? How are you going to be consistent with it? Procrastination is the enemy of success. If you sit there and you're like, oh, but I took this photo, if I post it, what are people going to say about me? What's going to happen? Then you're not going to get anywhere. It's really unlikely that you'll post a photo or a video on social media and you'll lose patients from it. It's really unlikely. The only thing that can happen from you posting is that you gain something from it. So, why not post it and see what happens? And also the beauty of posting on your own channels is that you can archive it at any time. So when your imposter syndrome kicks in, and you've posted it and you're like, oh, I've already got 5 likes on this. I don't know. I don't think people like it. And you want to archive it. It's okay. It's a protest. Archive it. And then post again tomorrow and try again. And maybe this time you'll keep it longer. And then that one time, that one post that had 5 likes on it, a new patient comes and said, oh, I saw this composite bonding that you did. Could you do something like that for me? And then you're like, oh, wow, there was only 5 likes for it, but I've just got a new patient from it. And then your confidence will build, and will grow. And it's doing things step by step and just moving forward. So, and we need to talk about how to move forward and overcome that imposter syndrome, but it is definitely coming. Speaking and being featured again in my mentorship program, I give these guys opportunities to be speakers. I give them opportunities to get articles out in dental publications, and not a lot of them have taken me up on it just yet. One of them took me up on the article, and through that he's now got a mini series with FMC on endodontics. And how awesome is that? I'm so proud of him. And we're running a mini conference in June at the next face-to-face day in my mentorship program, where I'm getting the mentees to do little half-an-hour lectures just to each other. Like they know each other now. They're creating a bond, and so that's your first opportunity to public speak, because when you're given these opportunities, when you're on an industry, when you're invited to be on a panel, when someone's invited you to speak on a podcast, again, I invite my mentees to come on my podcast, and half of them have said no so far, because they're like, no, I can't do it yet, I'm not ready. And that's okay. But bit by bit, when you go out of your comfort zone and you do these things, it's how you start getting your name out there. And your patients love it. They love that my dentist is being featured on that podcast. My dentist has got articles that are in dental journals. And it's how you build out your reputation. So it's taking these opportunities when they're offered to you. And if they're not offered to you, it's going out and getting them, which again, as women, we're not that great at. And again, acknowledging that there's some men in the room as well. And we like to be asked, I like to be asked. Look at all the things that I do in my life every single day. And I don't like to go to people and say, can I be part of that? You know, I wait to be asked within the Women's Dentist Network group, where there's a bunch of women. Someone put the other day that their friend's son needed a cosmetic dentist. And I kind of sat on the group and waited for one of the women to say, oh, Manrina's a really good cosmetic dentist. And then just thought, why did I do that? Why didn't I just say, hey, I'm a good cosmetic dentist. I'll help your son. But you know, that imposter syndrome, it kicks in all the time, and it's something that we need to be aware of, and we need to acknowledge, and we need to push past. Um, Reviews are so important. You know, at my practice as a new practice owner, 2.5 years, well, nearly 3 years in now, it was amazing for me how many inquiry our number of inquiries increased once we hit 100 Google reviews, and then once we hit 250 Google reviews. At those two numbers, we saw a significant increase. So Google reviews are really important and really valuable. They're not that easy. They take effort to get, but you know what? Nothing that we're going to do in life is easy. Nothing that's worth doing is easy. And so it's all about feeling the fear and doing it anyway. And maybe if there's one line that I would ask everyone to take away from today for International Women's Days is feel the fear, guys. And if you don't feel the fear, you're a psychopath. So you feel the fear, and but you do it anyway because you know that it's good for you, and we want to push ahead, and we're not going to let fear or other people's opinions stop us from doing that. So push for those Google reviews. We weren't that bothered about Trustpilot reviews, but now with the introduction of AI, Trustpilot has become really important. I had my first patient come to me from Copilot the other day. Someone Google asked Copilot who was the best veneer dentist in Europe, and Copilot told them that I was. Thank you, Copilot. Didn't even know Copilot existed, but that's AI grabbing words from the internet, and Copilot doesn't grab from Google. And so suddenly we were like, oh wow, well, we should probably focus on Trustpilot and Facebook as well. So even more work for all of us, guys. Video testimonials, you know, rather than you talking about yourself, how lovely is it if someone else is talking about you? So make sure you get video testimonials, and you need things in your team. I've only got 1 minute. I've got so much more to say. And how do you handle negative feedback? Never emotionally, always professionally. That is the key to that. And it will come because, you know, you're not going to be everyone's vibe. And that's okay. We're not trying to be everyone's vibe. Build a strong personal brand. Make sure it's clear to everyone out there who you are and what you stand for. If you don't know yourself who you are and what you stand for, I would implore you after today to have a think about that. I know my 5 minutes is up, but I'm going to just jump onto my last slide and start thinking about your personal brand. Whether you are a practice owner or whether you are an associate, I want you to have a strong personal brand. So I encourage all my mentees to build their own personal brand websites. I would encourage all of you to build your own personal brand website. And a personal brand, the start of that can be as simple as a logo, your brand colors, and your brand fonts, and those need to create a feeling around you. And if you don't have that, and if you want to, and if you want a great person to do it, then message Laura. You can WhatsApp her or you can email her on Academy. Laura, maybe you can pop those details in the chat for them, and she will give you details of who did my personal branding, and you can also use her. She is exceptional. And I will stop there for our 5-minute Q&A. Right, we are ready for our next session, our next bit. So let's go. The next bit we are going to talk about is mastering communication, right? The art of patient communication. The best dentists aren't clinically skilled. They are great communicators. And again, you know, it's such a shame that you can't just be a brilliant clinician. If you're a brilliant clinician and no one knows about you, then you probably won't have any patients. Maybe your own patients will refer you other patients. However, if you're not a good communicator, then probably your own patients won't even refer you other patients because they just won't like you. So communication is a skill that we really need to master as dentists, and it's one that's not taught very well at dental school. So I talk fast, by the way. If this is too fast, then when we have the recording, ask Laura for it, and just instead of playing it in times 2, you know, play it on half. And then it'll be easier to pick up all the points. Right. So personalization. So you want every patient to feel like you're personalizing their treatment plan and that they are important to you. They are important to us, right? It definitely isn't a one size fits all. Every single patient gets a personalized plan, and you want to make sure that they feel like that's what's happening. So when a patient comes into the room, most important thing is to make them feel like they are the most important person in the world. I talk about this in my designing smiles course where we do new patients, and also in the online course that I built for new patient examination. Too many dentists, when a day patient walks into the room, are on the computer and just like, be a minute, and busy typing notes for someone else. And we're busy, and I get it, and catching up with notes is like a thing, right? I just think these whole AI softwares that are going to transcribe everything that we say are literally going to change our lives when they get good enough, because writing up notes is the bane of, I think, every dentist's life. Um, but whatever it is with the last patient, this is this patient's time now. And if you want to build trust and you want to build great communication with that patient, when they walk in the room, you have to look them in the eye. You have to know that they've got 100% of your attention. You have to sit them down on the dental chair and look at them. You know, if I'm sitting here and talking to you, and Agata, I'm looking at you right now because you're really in front of me. You know, I'm talking to you. I am looking at you, and I am talking to you. If I am like pretending to talk to you, but while I'm talking to you, I'm like doing this and looking over there, you're like, Manrina doesn't care about me. She's not really caring about answering my question for me or about anything I'm saying. Because while I'm talking, she's like looking, and she's like, is she trying to talk to someone else? It's so rude, and it doesn't make you likable. So it's so simple for people to trust you and like you. You just got to give them your attention. So we stop what we're doing, we look at a patient, and we give them their attention, and then we listen to them. And the other thing as dentists is we're always rushing, right? We're always chasing that carrot, like what's next, and you know, we're always chasing a carrot, not because we're money hungry, but because if we take a long time doing the dental procedures that we do, we're just not good dentists. If you want to do a beautiful composite filling and you spend 3 hours doing it because you love your patient and you love your treatment and you want to do a beautiful composite filling, you haven't done your patient a service, and your patient is not going to rave about how amazing you are because they've had to sit in your chair for 3 hours with their mouth open with a rubber dam on because you took 3 hours to do one filling. So to be a great dentist is working effectively, quickly, and in microsurgery, because if you go 1 millimeter the wrong way, you might cut the tongue, and if you go 1 millimeter the other way, you might slit their lip. So all day we're chasing this carrot that's dangling in front of us, and we're working at the very highest level at the greatest speed that we can. And so it becomes who we are, because wherever you practice is who you are, and we'll talk about that when we talk about imposter syndrome. And so we want to do the same thing when the patient comes in the chair. They sit down, and you're like, right, okay, like I'm doing with you guys right now. How much value can I provide in these 10 minutes that I've got to talk? But that's completely counterintuitive. At that stage, you want to flip into someone completely different, and you want to practice your brain elasticity. You want to slow down, you want to stop, and you want to listen. So tell me, what brought you here today? And your patient tells you, okay, so tell me about that. You know, so you're not rushing. You're not like, okay, got it. Don't worry, lie down, let's go. You know, it's counterintuitive, and it doesn't build trust, and it doesn't build good communication. So slowing down, giving patient your time, using storytelling. I'm a massive believer in storytelling, and what we're talking about now is building a level of communication or a level of trust that you're wanting to do high value treatments. You know, if a patient's coming in and they're just coming in for a routine checkup or whatever, then yeah, you want to build that rapport between them. But it's when you need to spend that little bit more time for the patient to understand that you know what you're doing. You know, I'll tell a story. I'll say, oh, oh yeah, I'd love to do this smile maker with you. Actually, I'm feeling really good about my smile makers right now, because I had this patient come in this week, and he he was looking for a cosmetic dentist, and he looked online, and he went and he decided he chose like five top cosmetic dentists in the world, and I came up as one of them, and that was awesome. And then he had a Zoom consultation with me, and he chose me, and he's booked in next week, and I'm going to do his smile makeover for him. He's flying in from New York, and I'm really excited about that. So I'm telling, and it's a true story. It didn't happen last week. It happened 2 years ago, but it's a true story that I've told, that was me storytelling. But while I was doing that, I was telling the patient that they're in really good hands, because this person who's got the option of all the cosmetic dentists in the world chose me. And so that if they're choosing me as well, they're in the right group. They're in the group of, that those type of people choose people like me. So whatever your story is that you're going to tell, oh, I just went on on a designing veneer course. Oh, you want to just, well, I've just been on a veneer course for advanced veneer techniques. Oh my God, my preps, I believe they're the best in the world now. I'm so excited that now you've decided to do this case after I've done this advanced course because they were good before, but they're excellent now. And you've just told a story about a course that you've been on or somewhere that you've been that is building confidence in your patient. And so just like we have these same things that we say to our patients all the time, the same stories that we tell, we also want to build up these storytelling stories that build up trust and they build communications that are telling them that we're experts in the treatments that they're thinking about having done with us. Mirror and matching energy. So, if a patient comes in and they're slow, they came to see you, then respond with them with the same. If someone's talking to me like this, and I'm like, okay, let's go, we're doing it. Then they're going to probably be quite overwhelmed by my presence and my energy. And it's really important that I understand, okay, take it down, Manrina. We're slowing down. And equally, if someone comes in with that high energy, I'm going to match them with it. So people like me go to people like you because me and you are the same. Is how you want patients to feel when they're with you, and whether that's with the energy or whether that's with the stories that you're telling. They're talking about their ski trip. You tell them about your ski trip. They're telling you about their holiday. You talk about your holiday, and bang, 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 and you try and find where those similarities are, and that's where you build a really great rapport with your patients. I'm going to keep a quick eye on the time. I've got 2 minutes. Make decisions easy. If we don't know what they should decide, then how are the patients supposed to know? If you're giving someone a treatment plan, so I'm going to talk about cosmetic treatment plans because that's my thing, and there's various options that are there from Invisalign with whitening and bonding up to 20 veneers. Then while I'm talking to that patient, I'm going to work out what the right option is for them. And it's not always the 20 veneers, because for some of them, even if they've come in for 20 veneers, and there's this guy here, this article's coming out in Clinical Dentistry this month, where I have done 20 veneers. The only option was 20 veneers because he wanted bigger, whiter teeth, and I wasn't going to put composite bonding on 20 teeth. But for some people, they come for 20 veneers, and actually what they need is Invisalign and bonding. And so you work out in your head what the answer is and give them all the options, but also guide them towards the option that you think is the right one. Because they also, if they can't make decisions, if they can't make a decision, then that will stop them moving forward. And so you really want to help them with that process while they're in the room with you, so that's not what stops your treatment plan going ahead. So make the decision for them and guide them towards the right decision for them. And the goal is never to sell, it's to instill confidence and also to focus on what it is that they came in for. Don't talk about the treatment that you want to do. I want to do 20 veneers and it might end up in root canal treatments on 3 teeth, and I'm going to cut your teeth by 0.3 millimeters. Let's not talk about that. Let's say, right, we're getting this smile because your son's getting married and you want to smile with confidence at his wedding. Let's get you that smile that's going to give you confidence, right? Let's work out how we're going to do that and focus on talking about the end goal and the result they want rather than the nitty-bitty bits about treatment. What have I got? Am I there? I'm there, aren't I? Maybe I can say one last thing about
30
communication.
seconds, go for it.
One last thing is jargon. We really mess up as dentists using dental jargon that's really scary. And an example just now was giving too much information about how much tooth you're going to cut, and unless the patient asks for it, and how root canal's done when that doesn't even need to be brought up. At that initial consultation, you want to talk about the end result and the fun bit about how you can get them there. Obviously, we're medical professionals and we need to go into the nitty-gritty once they've decided that they want to go ahead with the treatment, and we go through their consent form in detail. But when you're talking to a patient, just be very conscious about the words that you're using. If you're saying, we are going to make bleaching trays so that I'm going to send impressions to the lab to make bleaching trays to bleach your teeth, the patient is like, bleach that you clean a work surface with, trays, what that you serve drinks on, lab where you mix chemicals. Like, what is she talking about? And so have a think about the words that you're using and what they mean in layman terms, and make sure that we're using the right words so that the patients can really understand, because they won't understand and they won't ask you. They'll just go home and be like, this dentist was talking about all these scary words that I didn't really know what she was saying. So that's me on communication. Questions? Okay, imposter syndrome. So, I want to start off this slide with I had dinner with my business coach, Chris Barrow, this week, and he opened the dinner by like sitting there and looking at me, and then he was like, "Marina, do you ever feel imposter syndrome?" And I thought that was such an interesting question coming from him. He's a very intelligent 71-year-old man who's been working with me for over 2 years now. And it was so interesting to me that his view of me was that I don't get imposter syndrome. And actually it was a little bit worrying because I think people who don't ever have imposter syndrome are psychopaths. Like to think that everything is going to be okay and that you're good at everything at all times, I think it would be a really interesting way to live. However, I do not let my imposter syndrome define me. I recognize it, I acknowledge it, and I push past it. And the classic example that I always give of the classic imposter syndrome is when I remember once I was going to record a podcast, and the podcast wasn't even about clinical dentistry. It was about me and my life. And I was like on my way there for them to record me for it. And then I was like, what if I don't know the answers? Like, there's no way you can't not know the answers about your life. You're going to ask me about my life. Like, I was there. I definitely know the answers for that. And even for that, my imposter syndrome was kicking in, and I was wondering whether I was gonna know what to say. So, I'd like to start off by saying that imposter syndrome is completely normal. But what's really important is that it doesn't define you and it doesn't stop you from being able to step forward. We want to reframe our self-doubt, and rather than being like, oh, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, you want to be like, you know what? I can do this. I'm constantly improving. An example would be you're going on your way into work and you've got a veneer case in, you're a bit like, oh God, what's gonna happen? And I know that some of you have told me that you listen to my podcast with Jazz Gulati, talking about veneer preparation on your way to the appointment to kind of like make sure that you've got it all and you've remembered it all. And I thought that was great when I heard that. But I think, what you want to be saying to yourself is, I've done my education. I know what it is that I'm doing, and I've got this. And you want to remember why it is that you've got this. If you haven't done your education, if you're watching YouTube videos and then trying to prep veneers and your veneers are falling off, then, just stop doing it. The imposter syndrome is trying to tell you something. But if you've got the education and you've done it there, and you know that you've done the back work and you deserve to be there, then you need to tell yourself that you deserve to be there, and reframe that little devil that's sitting on your shoulder, trying to tell you that you're not good enough. And then, success isn't luck. Success is never luck. Someone said that same to me. They were like, "Oh, you're so lucky. You're so lucky. You're a celebrity dentist." Like, oh, a celebrity dentist in itself is just hilarious as a term, I think. But there's no luck involved in where I am in my career. I am where I am in my career because I've done 23 years of pushing. I push every opportunity I've given. Oh, is there an opportunity to join that committee? Okay, I'll join the BACD committee at 23 years old. Oh, is there an opportunity to join the board? I'm going to work really hard on the committee and prove myself. Oh, you're going to invite me to join the board? Okay, I'm on the board of the BACD at 27 years old. Oh, does someone want someone to write an article? Did I just listen to that webinar? Manrina said that we can write articles. Okay, I'm going to write an article. I'm really nervous, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to email Laura right now and say, can you help me, Laura? Because I've done the first step, because I'm going to get that article out in dentistry.co.uk, and I'm going to do it. So you feel the pain and you do it. And all these things that I'm talking about that I did them free of charge, right? I really didn't start charging for anything I did in the dental community, probably until I was 20 years in. So you charge your patients, that's fine. But all the lectures that I gave, all the articles that I wrote, all the boards that I sat on and that I still sit on, every bit all the social media that you've seen me on, that you guys have consumed me. So the reason that you're here is probably because you've seen me somewhere doing something, and all that stuff that you've seen is all stuff that I've done free of charge over the last 23 years, because I've been pushing and trying to get myself out there. And that's got myself out there to you guys, and it allows me to now run my academy, and it's something that brings me a lot of joy and that I really love in my life, and fulfills one of my needs. Like, I really enjoy sharing my knowledge and being around you guys, and so it allows me to do that and build a business from it, because like I was saying, you want your job to work with your essence, so you don't never feel like you're working a day. But it also then has built up my profile for my patients, and it's meant that that I can see the patients that I want to see and charge the fees that I want to charge, because they're consuming all this information from me online that I've spent the last 23 years putting out there, from the articles that I've read and the interviews that I've done and the social media content that I've created. So now when you go onto Google or online, every platform that you go on, I keep appearing, and then you're like, who is this woman and why is she everywhere? She must be something special. And she's something special because I've just pushed ahead for the last, and done all this stuff for free for this many years. So none of it is an overnight success or luck that's come with it. What's come with it is making a decision, deciding the life that you want to lead, and then taking a step every single day to get closer to actually living it. And unfortunately, it doesn't happen by itself, but it does happen with a lot of hard work. And social media. I've got Pavi. I can see you on the video as well. She's one of my mentees, and she's a brilliant mentee. I love all of them, but I love that Pavi taken all the information that I've given and she puts it into action. She just does it, and she's a classic example of how it works. Her reel went viral on TikTok last month, and already at like 4 million views or wherever it is. And that just brings the and that just gives me joy, right? If you do these things, then you become visible, rather than you showing your photo book to your 10 patients that came into your waiting room that day. If they decide to pick it up, how about putting one piece of content out online and getting 4 million people having a look at it and being exposed to you? How about that? And that's the difference there that these things can make when you actually just make the effort to do them. So yeah, never luck, but just keep pushing forward with it, and then own it, because part of the imposter syndrome is that we own our success. Growth mindset. Never stop learning. If you stop learning, firstly, if you don't learn, you don't earn. And if you stop learning, you just get really bored. Like, I think all of us hit a wall at 10 years in dentistry, where everyone I've spoken to hit it, and I definitely hit it. But if you're not doing something new, I was just doing cosmetic dentistry, the same 5 treatments every single day for 10 years. And then at 10 years, I was like, whoa, this is really boring now. And so you need to be learning, right? You need to bring something new in. You need to buy a new machine. You need to buy an iTero. You need to buy a water laser, like start doing laser dentistry. You need to introduce facial aesthetics. You need to go on a new course and start doing different types of aligners. You need to learn veneers and start bringing that into, bit by bit. You need to bring all these different things in. And then you want to have your circle so they can support you. You want to have your mentors. You want to have your colleagues. You want to have your support system, because any one of us that learns something and then aren't supported in it, we can't take it into practice. And again, I'll give an example of me. I did the year-long Noble Biocare course in 2011 and placed about 2 implants, and then never placed an implant again. And I don't regret it, because I restore implants and I understand implants, and that's okay. But I'm a classic example of not having the support system around me to make me feel like I could place those implants, and I'm risk averse. And so something feels like, oh, that feels a bit dangerous. I don't want to do it. And so, really important that you've got your support system in place to make sure that you can grow in the way that you want to and achieve the goals that you want to achieve. And then looking and acting the part. So if you don't feel it, I want to say fake it till you make it, but just fake it till you make it in how you're feeling. So if you're feeling scared, if you're feeling, this is my first webinar that I've run myself, right? Every other webinar that I've done are other people's webinars that they have invited me to speak on. And when we launched it last week or whatever, and I was like, oh, what if no one wants to come? Let's just do it. What if no one wants to come? And then, within 24 hours, we had 100 of you sign up. And then, by this morning, we had 200 of you sign up. And then I was like, oh, it was okay. And I don't know how many of you are here today. And I know that some people couldn't make it and have asked for replays. But I had to do it anyway, right? I couldn't just be scared that none of you would come. I thought, if none of you are here, that's fine. I'll give Laura my lecture. Or my mentees will come, and I'll let them know about it. But you guys are here, and I'm grateful for it. And again, I'm like, did you find value? And if you found value, can you let us know? Because these things play out. But you fake it till you make it. You feel a bit scared, but you never appear it. And I physically move my body. I physically put my shoulders back. I put my chest out, and I put my chin out. And for me, I'm like, that is how I appear when I'm confident and strong. And when I physically make that movement, then I start feeling the way that I've just made my body appear. If you feel sad, and you sit and you put a smile on your face and you smile for long enough. After a while, you start laughing at yourself and you feel pretty happy with it. And music also, and I had an example, but we've run out of time, so I won't do it. But I have certain musics that I play that when I listen to, I feel really proud. I feel really, there's something that will make you feel proud, whether it's your heritage, I'm a Punjabi by heritage. I'm very proud of being a proud Punjabi. And there's a song that's like, Guriya Punjab diya hoye hoye. And it says the girls from Punjab. And when it comes on, and it played this morning on the radio, and I put my shoulders back and I was like, yeah, Guriya Punjab diya, that's who I am. And if I'm that, why would I ever feel nervous or worried about what's happening in life? Because I'm a Punjabi girl, and we don't get nervous. So you want to think about the part of your identity that makes you feel that way, whether it's I'm a dentist, I'm a principal, whether it's your parents that made you feel that way, or you've got friends that make you feel that way. You want to think about all the lovely things that you've been told that tell you that your imposter syndrome's a lie. Maybe we had a little imposter syndrome session before Christmas party in my mentorship where we had to write, three nice things that someone had told us this year that had stuck in our mind. Make a little book of that, have a space that you can go to remember all the wonderful things that people think about you, because you are all amazing people. There's no doubt that you're all amazing people, and you're very intelligent, successful people, or you would not be dentists, or the professionals that you are in the first place, to be on this call. So we just need to remind ourselves of it. And I know I just ran out of time, but communicate with authority. Talking about a success folder, and repetition builds confidence. So repeat speaking about things confidently. Speak about your treatments with enthusiasm. I had a patient I saw this week. I did a full mouth veneers for him, and he went to see another dentist on Harley Street before he saw me. He said he went to Harley Street because he trusted that if they were on Harley Street, they must be amazing. But the dentist didn't seem like he really cared about his veneers, and so he didn't go ahead. And then he came to see me because I did his daughter's veneers, and I was so excited, and I was, because I knew what I was about to do, and I love doing veneers, and it was a beautiful result. And he was like, it was your enthusiasm. I knew that if you were that excited, that it was going to be a great result. So whether you're feeling the excitement, even if you're feeling nervous about the treatment you're going to do, that's not what the patient wants to see. Put on game face, guys, big smiles, shoulders back, confident talk. Right, let's do this. And if you exude confidence, you'll also instill confidence in your patients, in you. And I know we're going to run out, but I just wanted to play this video because I freaking love it. I don't know if you guys watch Ted Lasso. I love Ted Lasso. It's on Apple TV, and this woman is a girl boss. She owns a football team. And in this moment in the video, she was suffering with imposter syndrome. She came on and she looked in the mirror, and she was just like, her husband had left her. He had this younger wife. His younger wife was pregnant. She was feeling like, am I enough? And of course she's frigging enough. She's frigging awesome. And so let's watch this. It's a power pose. And it's her younger self in the mirror. Yes. And she remembered who she was. Straighten up, put up your collar, and just remember that yeah, you're freaking awesome. So that's I'm going to end my presentation here. We've got 10 minutes before the end, so I'd love to do another 5 minutes of personalized Q&A with you guys, and then I want to finish off and just kind of let you know about what's next. On that note, I will leave you. Have a lovely day, and thank you. See you soon. Bye.